Shadow, light, shade light. Hi everyone, Nathan here. Today we're going to take a look at the Kat Von D Shade Light Contour Palette. Of course, if you've paid much attention at all in the past couple of months, you know that contouring has exploded among cosmetic companies, and it seems like every brand is rushing to get their contouring palette out, or contouring compact, or contouring product to customers to try and buy, possibly. So what about this one? Kat Von D took an approach that allows multiple shade options for contouring and then also multiple options for highlighting. Each shade is matte, so there's no shimmer, no sparkle, not even a hint, nothing at all. They're all matte and then fairly neutral. They do trend to slightly warm, especially when you get to the highlight tones, but they are for the most part neutral. So with the brown tones for contouring, we have a taupe shade, which is somber, and then we have a soft brown tone here, which is shadow play, and then a deeper color, which is subconscious. And with the highlights, we have the lightest shade, which is lucid, and this is more of a pinkish tone. The mid is lyric, which is more of a yellow or almost yellow beige is how they describe it, I believe. And then last is lucid, which is much more of a pinkish peach tone. And so each of these could work for a variety of skin tones. If you're someone who is super fair, however, this palette most likely is not for you, especially if you're super fair and have pink undertones. In fact, you'll probably have a hard time finding a contouring palette. However, I would recommend checking out some of the options, like Marc Jacobs has a very pink undertone contouring palette, or even using a taupe eyeshadow or a pinkish brown or purplish brown undertone as a contouring. A lot of options there, but for the super fair, cool tone among you, this probably isn't the palette for you. Now, in terms of the options here, each of these shades, as I mentioned, is matte. They're not powdery, you know, at all. They actually don't have much fallout, and the color that you get is quite pigmented from each tone. So certainly you're getting your money's worth. With each of these shades, they're going to last you quite some time. In fact, this palette will last you quite a long time. You know, most contouring palettes are to add, certain very definite structure to face, contouring deeper shades along the cheekbones, areas that you want to recede, whether it's along the bridge of the nose, to help reduce the appearance of those areas, and highlights to help enhance the appearance of other areas of the face. How you structure those is really kind of up to you in terms of how much experience you have and how skilled you are. Kat Von D did go the extra mile to include a contouring card here. And this includes 3 different options, one for more of a natural look, one for more when you have a little extra time, and one when you want to go all out and have a a very high structure contour look to your makeup. This has the advantage of adding cheekbones where they may not be as visible, and helping to slim the look of a nose if that is to your preference. If you're not in the mood, though, for contouring, and you find that, you might have some use out of it, but really, you won't have an occasion to use that kind of structured contouring look that often, I would recommend this also as a bronzing palette. In fact, this is probably one of the best bronzing sets, I would say, that I've seen, really. And again, it kind of goes to the undertones. The undertones are fairly neutral. They don't have any orange or any copper to them. They're all kind of fairly mid-tone brown, slightly warmish. They look realistic on skin. And the highlight shades, again, fairly neutral. You can work these as an excellent bronzing range, and I'll actually show you how to do it, because this is my go-to palette when I want to add some color back, especially under these bright lights. So let's find out how to do that. So when it comes to bronzing and bronzers, nobody has a uniform kind of tan look on their face. Most have, kind of different tones, where the sun would hit, you would have kind of naturally darker, areas as compared to other areas of your face. So the way I approach it with this great palette is I actually make use of the mid-tone and then the deep tone here, and then I use the lighter tone here to kind of buff things in. And what I do is I just kind of hit the high points that you would typically get a little too much sun on, right here. And I use this first, and the reason why is that I blend it in with the deeper colors, with the tan colors, and then also a lighter color underneath, which really kind of works into the skin and gives that nice kind of translucent glow, and that looks much more natural, I feel, than just applying it right on top of skin. So the high points again, boom, boom, boom. And if you're curious, this is the Wayne Goss number 12 face brush, which I'm a big fan of. Nice thing is that they are very, very soft and easy to use. Okay, and the nice thing, again, there's a lot of nice things to this, is that if you use a little too much, it actually only kind of enhances the end result. So that's done, and then I go to the bronzing palette here. Like I mentioned, I use the mid-tone first. You don't really want to be too exact with it. Some people can get a little bit crazy, in terms of wanting to hit it in just certain areas. But of course, when you get tan, no one really has a nice uniform tan. It doesn't really kind of look natural that way. So I just kind of work it in all over, directly on top of the brush. I hit the high points of my ears, because no one looks good with that whole kind of white ear or light colored ear and bronze face approach. And then I take just the edge of the brush, and this is the number 11 Wayne Goss brush, face brush. I take just the edge and I damp it into the darker tone. And when you're going with the darker tone, you want to kind of be much more strategic on that. And so just kind of hit a few areas. Don't worry if it's not kind of too blended in, at first. Okay, so then what I do next is I wipe the brush off and I go to the lighter tone and then just blend it all together. Blend, blend, blend. So that whole kind of bronze look and also, the reddish blush tone from NARS is all worked into a significant extent. So there's really no lines of demarcation, just has a nice kind of uniform look. Then on top of that, because I do get a little bit oily, but then also to help kind of blend it out a bit more, I apply a bit of powder foundation. And this actually is kind of a must for me, especially in front of these super bright, high kind of HD cameras that reflect everything, including a well exfoliated face. So I use using the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Powder Foundation in medium 5.3, and just right on top, boom, boom, boom. And again, this just kind of blends it all together. Now, one last thing I should mention, if you need concealer on top of this to help kind of touch up any little discolorations that are showing through, the last step is actually going to be the best time to apply that. On top of a powder foundation and all of this, bronzing, work, that sort of thing, you just take your concealer, you just apply it to the area, where you want to cover up that area, cover up any little discolorations or imperfections, and then set it with a powder, and then just lightly on top of it, just tap in, with the brush that you used with the bronzers. And that will help to kind of even it out with the rest of, the skin on your face. Okay, back to the review. So as you can see, this works out really well as a bronzing palette, and it's very easy to use, and I feel it actually gives a much more realistic effect when it comes to adding that kind of bronze color that you want, if that is the type of product you're looking for. It works very well for a wide range of skin tones. If you are looking for a bronzing palette out of this, or to help get that kind of dual benefit, this would actually work for lighter skin tones all the way up to fairly deep, medium deep skin tones. I hope all that was helpful. Again, as you probably suspected, this is one palette we loved. It was rated a best, not only for the range of options within the palette in terms of color tones. The undertones are fairly neutral and workable, and it's a steal. $46 for this much amount of product that also works great as a bronzing palette too. You really can't beat that. For more information, check out the full review on Beautypedia, and then of course, if you tried this, you loved it, you hated it, let us know. I want to hear your feedback. Go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.